Every Blaseball team star of the new era, an analysis article by Firewall Andrews, published Saturday, January 14th, 2023. Season N1 is in the books, and the postseason is underway. But before we get too far into the drama of the playoff and the intrigue of the election, let's take a look back at the notable players of the first season of the new era of the ILB. Specifically, here's one player you should know about from every Blaseball club. The Atlantis Georgias. And I immediately cheat and start with two names. Let me tell you all about Son Jensen and Emmett Atomic. The Georgias' new ace, Jensen, went 14-4 and issued only 7 walks while striking out 121. Atomic finished with a 12-6 record, walking only 4 batters and whiffing 86. These aren't astronomical strikeout figures, but with the walks that low, these are tough pitchers to beat. The Baltimore Crabs. It was a fairly quiet season in Baltimore compared to the team's storied history in the previous eras of Blaseball, and the team really lacked in star power. However, Ramirez Winters is a name to know. They finished with 10 triples, one of only 29 players to accomplish the feat, and led the Crabs in homers, RBIs, and batting average, while also chipping in with 21 sacrifices, top 10 in the league. The Boston Flowers. Amir Murphy cracked the top 20 in the ILB with 166 strikeouts in the first season of the era, but was unlucky to walk away with a 7-11 pitching record thanks in part to low run support, but also a bit of a homer problem. If Murphy can keep the ball in the park in the future, this flower should blossom in the coming seasons. The Breckenridge Jazz Hands. Veteran ILBer Case Dogwalker finished in the top 20 of the ILB in OPS and led the Jans in doubles, triples, sacrifice hits, RBIs, and batting average. Their 23 sacrifice hits were tied for 4th in the league. The Canada Moist Talkers. Simon Haley, the former slugger for the Shoe Thieves who hit the Splort's first pentaslam, is back as a pitcher and showed off some incredible skills this season. Haley sat down 128 batters via the strikeout while walking only 5, giving them the 7th best strikeout-to-walk ratio for season N1. Also, Eris Street, they're good too. The Charleston Shoe Thieves. Jamie Decksetter was a star on offense for the Thieves, ranking 13th in Blaseball and OPS, and being one of only 17 players to hit 20 or more homers over the 90-game season. The Chicago Firefighters. It wasn't exactly a season to write home about for the Firefighters, but they have a promising talent on the mound in Katara Rangel. The team's ace was one of only 7 pitchers to strike out more than 150 batters and walk 10 or fewer over the course of the regular season. The Core Mechanics. We have to talk about Chorby Short, right? The fan favorite took to the mound and was incredible, demonstrating pinpoint precision with a 114 strikeouts and only 4 walks, the 3rd best strikeout-to-walk ratio in the ILB. The Mechanics as a whole were great at keeping the ball in the zone, issuing the 3rd fewest walks of any pitching staff. Chorby Short, Chorby Tall, Chorby gonna chuck that ball. The Dallas Stakes. Vanilla Okie Dokie was one of 15 ILBers to hit for better than .330 on the season, adding 28 home runs, 2nd in the league. That's more homers than the next 3 best players from the Stakes combined. The Hades Tigers. Medi Caper was one of 15 pitchers to surpass 170 strikeouts in season N1 and finished with the best ERA in Blaseball at 1.37. However, poor run support meant they could only manage a 9-9 win-loss record, but that's not a great reflection of the dominant season on the mound for Caper, who arguably was the best pitcher in Blaseball. The Hawaii Fridays. Famous Owens lived up to their name with a noteworthy performance at the plate, ranking 16th in OPS in the league, one of 18 players above 1.0, and leading the Fridays in homers with 19, tied with Valenzuela, RBIs 65, and hits 122. The Houston Spies. Terrell Bradley finished 12th in the league in RBIs for the Spies, thanks in large part to 20 sacrifice hits, one of only 15 players to hit that mark, and the only player with at least 20 sacrifices and 15 home runs. The Kansas City Breath Mints. Thanks to the fax machine, you already know about Stretch Sutton, so let's instead focus on Plum's Blather. Part of a dominant Mints pitching staff, Plum struck out 190 batters, third most in the ILB, and finished with the fifth best ERA at 1.71. The Los Angeles Unlimited Tacos. Despite joining mid-season, Malik Destiny led the Tacos in triples hit with 13, tied for 9th in the league in 2/3 the plate appearances of other leaders, and posted the second best OPS on their team. The Mexico City Wild Wings. There's almost too much to say about this team, so let's focus on someone whose name doesn't show up on the home run leaderboard. Leticia Diop. Diop had the second most sacrifice hits in Blaseball with 25, and they're one of 4 Wings players in the top 8 in the league in runs batted in. The Miami Dale. Malik Romaine posted the third best ERA in the ILB in season N1, ranking 7th with 178 strikeouts and walking only 12. Their 14-4 record helped lift the Dale into the postseason to begin the new era. The Moab Hellmouth Sunbeams. Jorge Owens was the only non-Wings player to top 80 runs batted in this season, tying for the league lead with 86. That, combined with their 26 homers, helped propel a well-rounded Moab Hellmouth team into the postseason and a spot in the semifinals. The New York Millennials. Not much went right for the Mills in season N1, but Alejandro Navarro is a keeper on the mound. They finished with 111 strikeouts and only 8 walks, a stat line hardly deserving of a 7-11 win-loss record. The Ohio Worms. Malin Sue joined the 20 home run club in season N1 for the Worms while finishing with the 8th best batting average in Blaseball. They led Ohio in pretty much every category, including hits, singles, doubles, RBIs, and OPS. The Philly Pies. Hira Sealegs was one of only 4 players with more than 20 home runs and fewer than 35 strikeouts. They made good, consistent contact for the Pies, as well ranking them 10th in the ILB in batting average on the season. The San Francisco Lovers. Alvy Kesh finished tied for 9th in RBIs with 67, slugging 22 homers and batting .310 to lead the Lovers in all 3 categories. They also struck out 14 fewer times than their next closest teammate, Kiki Jr. The Seattle Garages. A run producer who doesn't rely on the long ball, Hendricks Richardson finished with 68 RBIs despite only 11 homers. That's thanks in part to 54 doubles, tied for 11th in the league, and a respectable 14 sacrifice hits. The Tokyo Lift. Tad Blortles finished with a 7-11 record on the season for the Lift, and while they did give up a good number of homers, to finish with 99 strikeouts to only 6 walks shows good promise for the Lift, looking for a big gain in season N2. The Yellowstone Magic. The league's OPS leader, not counting Natha Spruce, who played in only a few games for the Lift, was the Magic's own Kiki Avija. One of only 19 players to hit for a quadruple double on the season, more than 10 of each, singles, doubles, triples, and home runs, they also drove in 73 runs, 4th best in the league. A special thanks to Abeline on the Sibber Discord for helping parse and compile this season's stats.